in the quiet plains of ancient Cambodia, where golden rice fields kissed the edge of deep forests and rivers whispered old stories. There lived a young monk apprentice named Tum. He had a rare and beautiful gift, a voice so pure and powerful that when he sang, it felt as though the very heavens paused to listen. One evening, Tum was invited to chant blessings at a noble family's home. He accepted humbly, completely unaware that his destiny was waiting for him just behind those carved wooden doors. Inside lived Teav, a young woman known for her kindness, her grace, and eyes that shimmered like the morning dew. Though she came from wealth, she was profoundly lonely. Her mother guarded her fiercely, convinced no man was worthy of her daughter. As Tum began to chant, his voice drifted through the halls like soft moonlight. Teav's heart stirred with a warmth she had never known. Drawn by the sound, she moved quietly toward the doorway. There she saw him, a young monk in simple robes, eyes closed in devotion, his voice flowing like a river of light. In that instant, Teav felt as if her soul recognized his. When Tum finished the chant, he opened his eyes and saw her standing in the soft glow of an oil lamp. A silent, undeniable spark passed between them. He bowed his head, and she lowered her gaze. In that fleeting moment, a forbidden love was born. Days turned into weeks, but neither could forget the other. Teav would secretly return to the place where Tum had chanted, just to touch the wooden pillar he had brushed with his sleeve. She would whisper his name, wondering if fate would ever be kind to them. Tum, struggling with the sacred vows he had sworn, found he could not silence his heart. At night, beneath the temple's starlit roof, he sang quietly not hymns, but songs of longing, of a love he was forbidden to feel. The senior monks warned him that desire was a fire that burned without mercy, but it was too late. Tum was already caught between his duty and his destiny. During a vibrant village festival, their paths crossed again. Unable to bear the ache in his chest any longer, Tum left his saffron robe behind and dressed as a common man, disappearing into the crowd. And then he saw her. Teav was standing by a lotus pond, watching lanterns float across the water. When their eyes met, time seemed to stop. Teav whispered, "I prayed I would see you again, and I," Tum replied gently, "have lived each day waiting for this moment." They spoke softly, their hands trembling as they touched for the very first time. In that touch was sweetness and fear, joy and a deep sadness they both tried to ignore. Love had taken root, but in their world, love always came with a price. It wasn't long before Teav's mother learned of their secret meetings. Her rage was fierce, more powerful than the monsoon rains. "This love will destroy our family," she shouted. "A monk, a poor boy. You will not shame us." Teav fell to her knees, crying, begging her mother to understand. But her mother's heart had turned to stone. That same week, a powerful and arrogant governor sent a message, proposing marriage to Teav. He was wealthy and influential, and her mother agreed at once. Teav felt her heart shatter into a million pieces. Desperate, Tum traveled across fields and forests to reach her home. Under the cover of night, he climbed the garden wall and found her sitting beneath a frangipani tree, silent tears streaming down her face. "I will not let them take you," Tum whispered, taking her hands in his. "We were meant for each other." Teav leaned into him, trembling. "Then fight for me," she pleaded, "even if the world stands against us." He promised her he would, and it was a promise that fate itself was listening to. On the day of the engagement ceremony, heavy clouds rolled across the sky. The governor arrived with beating drums, armed soldiers, and gifts of gold. Teav stood silently, her face pale, her heart screaming for someone who was not there. And then a distant voice echoed across the fields. A voice she knew better than her own heartbeat. It was Tum. He emerged from the crowd breathless, his eyes burning with determination. "Teav belongs to no one but herself," he cried out. Whispers erupted through the crowd. The governor's face twisted with rage. Tum ran to Teav, took her hand, and stood before everyone. "If loving her is a crime," he declared, "then let the heavens judge me." Teav squeezed his hand, tears of joy, fear, and love spilling down her cheeks. The governor, his pride wounded, commanded his guards, "Seize him." Tum shielded Teav as the soldiers pushed forward. Some villagers begged for mercy, but the governor's pride was stronger than reason. A struggle broke out. Tum fought with everything he had, but he was only one man against many. In the chaos, a blade flashed. Teav's scream tore through the sky. Tum collapsed, his blood staining Teav's silk dress. She fell to her knees, holding him tightly as his life slipped away. He lifted a trembling hand to her face. "Forgive me. I could not let them take you," he whispered, his voice fading. She cried against his chest, her body shaking with grief. "Don't leave me, please." His voice was now just a whisper, like the last note of a broken song. "I will wait for you in the next life." And with that, Tum's eyes closed forever. Consumed by a grief so profound she could no longer bear it, Teav refused to move or speak. That night, she quietly slipped away from the world, joining Tum in the land beyond, a place where no one could ever separate them again. Years later, villagers still tell the story of the boy who sang like a river and the girl who loved him beyond life itself. They say that on quiet nights, when the wind passes through the trees, you can still hear their voices soft, tender, calling to each other across time. Tum and Teav became more than just lovers. They became a timeless reminder that even in a world of power, pride, and cruelty, true love burns brighter than fear even when it ends in tragedy. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe for more tales from around the world.